From the moment I married Daniel, I knew his mother, Helen, would be a challenge. She was the kind of woman who believed the world revolved around her, the kind who criticized everything, from the way I folded the laundry to the way I stirred the soup. But I loved Daniel deeply, and for a while, I told myself her attitude came from love for her son. That illusion shattered soon after we got married. It started small. Helen would drop by our apartment without warning, carrying bags of groceries as if she owned the place. She'd rearrange things in the kitchen, saying, "Oh, dear, this way is more practical." Then she began showing up almost daily, complaining about her loneliness. I sympathized, until sympathy turned into irritation. One evening, as I was setting the dinner table, Daniel came home looking uneasy. "Mom wants to talk to you," he said, avoiding my eyes. I frowned. "About what this time?" He hesitated, then sighed. She wants to move in with us." I froze. "What?" "She said she's tired of living alone, and she thinks it'll be better for her health to stay with us. She already started packing." I almost dropped the plate I was holding. "She what? She's already packing? Without even asking me?" Daniel rubbed his temples. "Please don't make this a fight. You know how she is." Exactly. I knew too well how she was. Helen didn't ask for things, she decided them. But this time, she'd gone too far. I wasn't about to let her turn my home into her kingdom. The next morning, I visited her apartment. She was sitting in her living room, surrounded by half-packed boxes. "Oh, good, you're here," she said cheerfully. "I've just finished labeling the kitchen things. Daniel can bring the truck tomorrow." I took a deep breath. "Helen, you can't just move in with us like this." Her face hardened. "Why not? I'm his mother. I raised him. It's only natural that I live with my son and his wife." "But you didn't ask," I said firmly. "You assumed. And our home isn't big enough for 3 adults. We need our privacy." Helen smirked. "Privacy? Oh, please. You're acting like I'd be in your way. I'll help with the cooking and cleaning. You'll thank me later." That was it. The arrogance in her voice made my blood boil. "Helen," I said slowly, "this is not up for debate. You're not moving in." She scoffed. "We'll see what Daniel says." When Daniel came home that night, Helen was already there, sitting on our couch like a queen on her throne. "I've decided," she said the moment I walked in. "I'm moving here this weekend." I looked at Daniel, waiting for him to speak, but he looked like a deer caught in headlights. "Mom, maybe," he started, but she interrupted. "No maybe. I'm your mother. This is my family too." That's when I realized this wasn't just about an apartment. This was about control. She wanted to dominate our marriage, our space, our peace. And Daniel, sweet as he was, had no idea how to handle her. I smiled politely, sat beside her, and said, "Helen, I think it's time someone brought you back to reality." She blinked, confused. "Excuse me, you think you can walk into our lives and decide where you'll live, what we'll do, how we'll live? But that's not how things work. You raised your son, yes, but now he's a husband, my husband, and you have your own home." Her lips tightened. "You're being disrespectful." "Respect," I said calmly, "is earned through understanding, not force." Then I stood up, walked to the door, opened it wide, and said, "If you want to live somewhere new, fine, but it won't be here. Either you stay in your own place, or you find another apartment. But this one is off limits." Daniel finally spoke. "Mom, she's right. You can't just move in." Helen looked from me to him, disbelief on her face. "You're choosing her over me?" He sighed. "I'm not choosing sides. I'm choosing peace." She stood abruptly, grabbed her purse, and stormed out. For 2 weeks, she didn't call or visit. I thought maybe she'd learned her lesson, but I was wrong. One afternoon, Daniel received a call from his aunt. Helen had fainted in her kitchen. We rushed over, worried. She was pale but conscious, lying on the couch. "I'm fine," she said weakly. "Just dizzy. Maybe it's from being all alone." Guilt crept into me. Maybe I'd been too harsh. We stayed with her for a few days, helping with groceries and cleaning. But then, she started hinting again. "It's so quiet here. I sleep better when you two are around." I smiled but said nothing. I'd learned my lesson too. Kindness without boundaries invites manipulation. After that week, we returned home. I visited her occasionally, but I made sure to keep things balanced. She slowly started accepting her independence again. Daniel and I even helped her redecorate her apartment to make it cozier. Months later, during a family dinner, Helen raised her glass and said, "I realize now that every bird must fly on its own." I wanted to feel needed, but I forgot that love isn't about control. It was the first time she'd ever admitted something like that. I smiled, touched her hand, and said, We love you, Helen, but we all need our space to grow. From that day, our relationship changed. She stopped showing up unannounced, and our conversations became warmer, real. There was no bitterness left, only understanding. Sometimes, standing up for yourself doesn't mean cruelty, it means clarity. And sometimes, reality needs a little push before it hits home.